People whose families have been destroyed by 23andMe, and other DNA sequencing services. What went down? When my birth mom was pregnant with me, she was too ashamed to admit who my father was. She was too young to be a mom, and so she gave me to my current parents when I was born. They were 10 years older than her, and already had a kid. I love my parents, and couldn't care who my birth father was, but I wanted to see what I was made of. Everyone was pretty pissed when we found out my dad was my birth dad. Not destroyed, it just confirmed what we already knew, that there was more than one father between 5 siblings, at least 3 as it turned out. Family wasn't destroyed, but my dad found out he has a 43-year-old daughter he never knew about that was conceived when he was 16. I was his oldest, I'm 23, and my mom found out her granddad had an illegitimate child there was no record of. Wild. Ours was backwards. A French lady messaged my mom and said she thought they shared a father. Very believable because Papa was a proven whore. Sure enough, she did at 23, and me, and sure enough Papa is a great big slut. Rest in peace. My dad turned out not to be my dad, so the basic 23andMe family surprise, I guess. Also found out that my heritage can best be described as white mystery. Can't speak for myself, but one of my old high school teachers took an ancestry DNA test, and found out his dad wasn't actually his biological father. His mom had cheated on her husband. He joked around so much that when he told our class, I thought he was joking. Nope. No destruction. But 23andMe showed me the dad who I knew as a child, left early, so no real relationship, wasn't my bio dad. Then about a year later, my sister on my bio dad's side, I thought I was an only child, and didn't know who bio dad was, reached out because 23andMe told her about me. Now I have a bio dad, a brother, and a sister. They are all really nice, and we are all trying to forge a new relationship. They are all coming over in about 2 hours where my wife and daughter will meet the dad for the first time. They've already met the brother and sister. I have nothing but good things to say about what 23andMe did for me. Spouse found out his dad wasn't his dad. His judgmental holier-than-thou Catholic mom had some explaining to do. He lost an immense amount of respect for her, especially when the bio dad tried to reach out to him. She is still in contact with the married man she had an affair with over 4 decades ago. He refuses to speak to him, and has limited contact with her. My brother got our whole family 23andMe kits for Christmas last year. Everyone did the swab, and got their results back which showed how we're all related, and yada yada yada, but my results came back inconclusive. 23andMe sent me a new kit to do it again, and that one also came back inconclusive. So the company sent me an email basically saying I can never do it again, probably because I'm using a bunch of resources with no results. Anyway, now my family says I don't have any human DNA, and that I must be a lizard. They make lizard sounds when I'm around, and I am ashamed. Family wasn't destroyed, but we're still trying to figure out who cheated. It's narrowed down to between 2 or 3 generations, but not exactly sure who it was. My family wasn't destroyed, but my grandpa held the family record for Neanderthal DNA variants, and I broke the family record by just a few. I have one more than my mom. I just thought I'd share. Edit. Lots of people are asking. I have 318 variants. My mom has 317, and my grandpa has -312. I found out I'm not Irish after taking one. I have an Irish tattoo. My mom's family always bragged about how Irish we were. My life obviously wasn't destroyed, but funny anyways. It was over 20 years ago. I was 18, and stupid. The tattoo is a nautical compass with a Celtic knot in the middle on my shoulder. Not me. But one of my bar regulars did the test with her older sister. Turns out not only are they not related to each other, but both of them are adopted, and their adoptive parents are both dead, and their entire extended family knew the whole time, but no one ever told them. I just got off the phone with my newly found bio dad. My mom died in 1980, my dad in 2012. I logged Friday into AskReddit to get my results from their Black Friday sale. It said that this person in NC was my father. No doubt. Turns out it was my mom's boyfriend before my dad came along. I have no idea if anyone knew. My newly found father certainly didn't. It's not something that has happened, but it's a fear I have. I don't have the same father as the rest of my siblings, and it's not a secret, but I'm the only one who knows my father was not a past boyfriend, but just some psycho who kidnapped and assaulted my mother. My younger half sister is always carrying on about all of us getting those things done, and has insinuated she's thinking of buying us all a kid. I'm really apprehensive about that because if my sperm donor has other family members who have done it, and that's not far-fetched at all, I'll be linked to them, and I do not want that. I think I know who he was, and I definitely don't want confirmation of that staring me in the face, or relatives of his trying to get in touch with me, or anything else like that at all. Actually wasn't destroyed, added an aunt that was older than my grandparents' relationship, so it meant no cheating. I'm just sad that she was never given the opportunity to meet her dad. She is an extremely charitable person, and I am excited to meet her at some point. My grandpa passed away from Alzheimer's, so my family uploaded our raw DNA to another site to see if any of us have the same genes that make it likely for any of the rest of us to have it as well. Luckily most of us didn't have the gene my grandpa had, but my uncles have it. So while my immediate family knows we've got average chances, my poor uncles are probably dreading the future. Edit: I used Prometheus. I wouldn't say mine was destroyed, but it was definitely a godsend. When my grandma passed, my aunt went through her old journals, and found out 3 of her 5 kids weren't fathered by my drunken, abusive grandfather. One of the non-biological children was my dad. I hated my relatives. My family is full of, I crap you not, drug kings, my uncle, prostitutes, thieves, and jailbirds. My dad confirmed through Ancestry that not only is the asshole who raised him not his father, but he's apparently of the swap babies of the 60s, so his mother isn't even his mother. He cut ties with everyone since he's no longer got any obligation to talk to anyone. Edit: swap babies are babies that were accidentally given to the wrong families at birth, a somewhat common problem in the early 1900s. Edit 2: I apologize if I talk too much, I just know everything about my dad's childhood. Smiley face. I plan on writing a book about the craziness. Kind of the opposite. I found out I have an older sister. Apparently my dad was being a little promiscuous, lol. R.I.P. old man. And she also shares my birthday. What are the chances? Edit: for everyone sending me the probability, I get it, lol. I just meant it's crazy that I found out I have an estranged older sister who just so happens to share my birthday as well. Pretty crazy to me anyway. I have just sent mine in, and I'm anxiously awaiting the results. I was adopted at birth, and met my biological parents 10 years ago. I found them after an exhaustive search. My bio-father's mother, my bio-grandmother, was adopted at birth, and my biological mother was adopted as well. I pretty much know about 25% of my background, bio-grandpa, and my whole family is curious to see what comes out of it. I discovered that I have some of the highest known Neanderthal DNA, more than 99% users, and over 4% of my total DNA. 3 tests submitted, and a flight provided to a university in Australia for a testing. Was cool at first, and then not. It bothered my wife a bit at first thanks to watching a couple documentaries. Husband found cousin who informed him of the passing of his estranged father. Father had some money in bank, family fought over the money. Family wasn't destroyed, but my hopes for knowing my birth parents were. Using the DNA testing I found my birth parents, confirmed by CPS documents, and reached out. They want nothing to do with me. I had always imagined some great meeting, but now I just know it will never happen. It hurts to know that they don't want to know me more than not knowing anything. Husband's grandmother was going on, and on about how her grandmother was 100% Cherokee Indian, my mother-in-law, and I never believed her. The test results come back with 0% Native American, so she starts saying the whole thing is a huge scam. Honey, no, you're white all the way. This one is still fresh, and happened in September. I'm 25, and I've told this story a couple times in r/adopted. In September I found my birth mother. We talked, and she invited the man I thought was my birth father to dinner, and my older brother who was from the same parents, and we were adopted by the same family, and grew up together came too. We had a great time, and we all clicked immediately. The man who I thought was my birth father was amazing, and my birth mother, and I liked so many of the same things. We made plans to see shows, and I was finally going to meet her mother, my grandmother, and learn about the heritage I never had. Then the 23andMe test came back that I took right before finding her came back. I found my uncle. Originally I thought it was her brother, but it was not. It was my birth father's brother. But my birth father wasn't the man I met. My brother and I were only half-siblings, which there is still some tension between us for. My birth mother went ballistic for me finding out. She called me every name in the book saying I was ruining everyone's lives, and how it was my fault this happened. It came out she knew all along I wasn't the birth father's kid. Everyone stopped talking to her, and was pissed, except for my actual birth father's wife. Turns out they were friends from high school. My birth mother has been texting and calling her constantly, telling her how it's all my fault, and telling her I'm an awful person, and to not let my birth father talk to me. Through all this stress, I don't really know if I want my birth father in my life. The funny thing is, my brother's birth father, the man who I thought I was, has been the most amazing man in all of this, and is the only person in this invited to my wedding, and I can't wait to have him there. This is related, but not from a DNA test. My father always told us stories about how his father was very hard on him, and very generous to his sister. My grandmother divorced his father when he was young, and married Grandpa's best friend. He, Grandma's second husband, died before I was born, so I'd never met him. When I was in college, I was looking through some old photos to get a picture of Grandma and Grandpa for some project I was doing. I found a close-up black and white old-time looking picture of my father in his 40s or so that I had never seen before. Strangely, he had blonde hair. My father had dark, almost black hair for most of his life. I turned the picture over. It was dated 40 years ago, and was labeled with the name of my grandmother's second husband, my grandfather's best friend. They were virtually identical. Being the stupid girl that I was, I pointed it out to my father, who went ballistic. It seems I stumbled upon a family secret, a very painful family secret. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories delivered to you. Thanks for listening. See you later.